What is going on, everyone? This is Sunderland Senior coming at you with another video today. And today I'm actually going to be talking about the Resident Evil 2 remake. I'm actually playing Silent Hill 2 Maria section of the Silent Hill 2 for PC. It's got nothing to do with the remake. It's got nothing to do with Resident Evil 2. It's just, I wanted to play this part. But if you want, I can do like a whole playthrough of Maria section. I really don't think it's that long. I haven't played Silent Hill 2 in a while. I have it on PC. If you want to see me post a video of the whole playthrough, let me know down in the comment section. Be more than happy to. So, what I'm going to talk about today is the Resident Evil 2 remake, like I said. And before I go into this video, I want to give you some context because that's just the kind of guy I am. I do have things that I like and dislike. And even though I am a fan of Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and other games out there, other franchises, I try to go into it with a neutral perspective. And I try to get both sides of why they hate and why they love the franchise. For example, Resident Evil. Excuse me. I did a why the hate on Resident Evil 6 because I genuinely like to talk to people who don't like a certain game, such as the Silent Hill Homecoming. I never understood why the fans are split down the middle regarding that game. Regarding Silent Hill Homecoming, there's people out there that like it. There's people out there that hate it. I mean, it's not my favorite game in the franchise, but it's one that I will, I wouldn't. If somebody gave me a free copy of Silent Hill Homecoming, I wouldn't say no. That's just where I'm at. So I always like to get other people's perspective on why they love or hate a franchise or a game in the franchise. So one of my favorite YouTubers, she made a video regarding Mr. X from Resident Evil, and it just so happened to be the Resident Evil 2 remake. So I posted a comment. Like I said, I like giving context, so I posted a comment, and this is the comment that I posted. Excuse me. So I have yet to play Resident Evil 2 remake. I stopped the video at the 1 second mark. I dropped a like and comment. I'm avoiding videos that talk about RE2 remake to any capacity, not just this one. So basically, not just this video, not just this one until I play the game for myself. Love what you do. Love what you do. Keep it up. And it would be cool to see you talk about Parasite Eve or Shin Megumi series. Stay classy. That was my comment, because I definitely like her channel and like what she talks about. And she gives you a pretty good perspective, a psychological perspective on all the games. Somebody replied to my comment, wait until it's on sale, not worth a full price game. And that really kind of took me by surprise. Because a lot of people, we already knew that an RA2 remake was going to blow everyone's mind because of everything, because they remade it from the ground up, a new engine, all that stuff, all that good stuff. And so that person commenting that kind of took me by surprise. So my response to them was, wow, no spoilers, LOL. Is it that short or bad? What's your honest opinion on it? FYI, I run a small YouTube channel. I make a video about this conversation with your permission, of course, and they never gave me permission, but So anyways, they replied, recycled RE7 assets. The game is short by design, but the story A/B scenarios are a mess, which were only added to artificially add a replay value when there really isn't much. The gameplay is decent and the graphics are top notch, but again, missing so much content and the quote unquote free DLC isn't enough. I think that's all. So my response was, oh wow, the original was like 3 hours per scenario, two and a half, 3 hours, something like that. I have the original, and I'm just waiting on something that I need to, post some classic RE gameplay because I have, I have the classic REs. My response was, "Oh wow, the original was like 3 hours per scenario. Man, this is heartbreaking to hear, but I appreciate the honesty. I'm definitely making a video about this now for sure. Thanks, my dude." Because I like my dude. I don't know why I like using my dude. I just like using my dude. So I posted this conversation on Facebook with the names blurred out, of course. I didn't want this guy to catch any flack. Because it's somebody's opinion. There are people out there who I'm sure like the RE2 remake, and there's people out there who I'm pretty sure have their beef with it, whatever it may be. Oh, it's sacrilegious that they would remake, blah blah blah, and such and such. And like I said, I respect everyone's opinion. I respect everyone's perspective. That's why I try to make this channel as much about you guys and your opinions and what you think as my own. I try not to be biased. I try not to beat everybody over the head, with why I love certain things. But I definitely try to make this channel about the people and for the people, like I said, because I'm I like gaming channels out there that are on YouTube, I'm not gonna lie. But I just feel like something's always lacking. Like they never give you other people's perspective, like this is the game, this is my opinion, this is what I think. And sometimes I kind of see a little biased with oh, well, this is Sonic, this is why I think, you know what I mean? I try not to be biased. I try to be neutral, but I still kind of give my opinion. So the conversation, I posted it on Facebook and people commented, of course. And Nico Very replied, I'm reading some of the comments now on this conversation. Nico Very replied, and once again, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. I apologize. Nico Very, one of the few companies that actually listens to the community and learns from its mistakes, while simultaneously giving us free content for their arguably best game ever produced, and still it's not enough. It's still, quote unquote, it's not enough. Then he replied. Then once again, Nico commented, "Gold, lol." Then he went on to say, "But to answer your question, I thought the game was phenomenal. It's probably not exactly what a lot of people wanted. It's not exactly what a lot of people wanted it to be, but I thought it was rich with content and has extremely responsive gameplay while being drenched in in a deep and oppressive atmosphere. It was great." And some people actually replied. Um, Tyson, give me a second. Ooh. Tyson Kolbeck said, "Please explain your reasoning behind the quote unquote rich with content part." Nico replied, "Four scenarios, two extra game modes, in addition to the free four DLC modes we just got. I thought it was a pretty good deal." He also said, "Granted, the two extra scenarios aren't nearly as compelling as the scenarios in the OG RE2, but I thought it was serviceable." Tyson, uh, IMO or LMAO or something like that. I don't know. There isn't enough right now, at least. Um, there isn't enough right now, at least. Like RE4 through 6 had mercenaries, which had a bunch of replayability on its own, each to their own. Nico replied, "Understandable. RE4, RE5, and RE6, as well as the REV games, have a wealth of content with the raid and mercs mode. I definitely would have preferred that, but for what we got, I thought it was all extremely polished." Uh, Once again, of more modern titles, I felt RE4 and RE2 did it best when it comes to extra game modes. Which, I mean, I haven't played it, so I can't really, I played the original. I can tell you about the original, but I haven't played the new one. Um, this is a different comment. Nico also went on, "And with the strong foundation they have currently, I know their next remake will be fantastic as well." There's a lot of rumors that RE3 is going to get a remake, Resident Evil 3 is going to get a remake, but, look at how long it took to get the RE2 remake. But then again, maybe they could recycle a couple of portions from RE2 and maybe use that and build on that. We'll have to see. Give me 1 second. Danielle Schmidtman. Danielle, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I am so sorry. It took me 8.5 hours in my first round. RE is not an open world game. True, it has never been. You cannot expect 30/40 hours from a RE game. You could also play the original in less than 2 hours, some professionals even in less than 1 hour. It does not depend on the length, but on the quality. True. That is very true. Sure, the scenarios could have gotten better. A and B are too identical, but Capcom said on there will not be no B run at all. I'm assuming she was talking about when the game was first announced, and I think I remember hearing something to that effect that there would be no B scenario. It's just going to be the A scenario. So I'm assuming that's what she's talking about. Lost my place. Okay, but Capcom said there will not be no B run at all. I think it was a last minute decision. There are new weapons in the B run, areas in which the other character cannot go, new cutscenes, new side character, which makes it still interesting. I love the RE engine, I love the atmosphere, I love the monster variety. I've spent 163 hours in the game so far, and I enjoyed every single hour. The game is definitely worth the money. I do not regret having paid full price to support the RE developers because the game is awesome. And, you know, I agree with everything she said. Sometimes it's not, it's, for example, I went out and I bought Silent Hill 3, brand new when it first released on the PlayStation 2. I paid full price, which was at the time was like 54.11, something like that. It was like a 49.99, whatever the price was. I reserved it. Paid I paid the full price for it, and it was a really good game. I loved the story, but I felt kind of cheated because I think I beat it in under, I want to say under 3 hours. I think I beat the game in under 3 hours, and I got the game with the soundtrack and everything, which I love the soundtrack to Silent Hill 3. But I just remember kind of feeling a little cheated that I beat it in such a short amount of time. And I agree with everything that she said. It's not about the length of the game, but the quality. But sometimes you kind of want a little length. You kind of want, games nowadays are like $64, 64 and some change, 59.99. So $10 more than they were on the PlayStation. That's how old I am. My age is showing. I know. Sometimes you do feel like you want to get your money's worth for a game. Granted, it can have an amazing story, it can have amazing graphics, but if you go out and you pay $60 for a game and you only get like maybe 3 4 hours of gameplay out of it, you're gonna feel a little cheated nowadays because you didn't really get your money's worth. That's why I love RPGs. Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Parasite Eve. You feel like you kind of get your money's worth with RPGs. Yeah, sometimes you got to grind to get to level up and stuff like that, but that's just my personal opinion. If I pay $60 for a game, I definitely want to get my money's worth. The graphics, they can be PS2 graphics. The graphics cannot be the best quality graphics, but as long as it has a good story and maybe and it takes me a decent amount of time to beat. That's just me. If I paid $39.99 for a game, $40, I know what I'm getting. And you know, that's with re-releases like Deadpool, Resident Evil, and that's I actually want to talk about re-releases in a later video. If you want to hear me talk about re-releases and how I feel about them, definitely leave me a comment. But that's just my personal opinion. If I pay $60 for a game, I definitely want to feel that I got my money's worth. God of War, I heard is really good. Spider-Man, hopefully I can get my hands on a PS4 pretty soon so I can do some reviews. So, fingers crossed and hopefully I can make that happen. She also went on Danielle Schmidtman. I apologize against Danielle. I apologize again, Danielle. Sorry. She also went on to comment and whining about free DLC. Gosh, this guy is so dumb. I mean, like I said, I haven't played RE2 remake at all, let alone any of the DLC. But if you're getting free content, if you're getting free DLC, Do you really have a right to complain? I'm just, kind of saying. Remember, remember Call of Duty? Every single map was like 20, almost $20 on the Xbox 360 days. I should know because I kind of bought some because all my buddies were on them, but that's a different story. Ria Clower, sorry, Ria. It's an amazing remake, and they couldn't get some things to work properly, zapping, etc., and left them out. Oh, I'm guessing she was talking about zapping like in the RE0, in the RE0 game. That's what I'm assuming she's talking about. And left them out. They did use elements of RE7, and I personally like that. It was a good game after all. This guy just has his nostalgia glasses on and wanted every single thing to be the same. The truth is, that's just not possible, and Capcom did an amazing job bringing an old game new life. And you know what? She's not wrong. Remember when we got screenshots of the RE1 remake on the GameCube? That thing looked phenomenal. And that's the thing about remakes that I'm guessing people don't understand. That whether it's movies or video games or whatever, remakes are usually either an up to date adaptation like Robocop, god awful Robocop movie, or they're that person's interpretation, that director or that whatever. So I always see as going into a remake with an open mind. Um, I didn't have an opinion on Resident Evil 4 when it first came out. There were going to be no fixed camera angles. I didn't have an opinion on it. I wanted to see what they did. Part of me did kind of feel like, man, that's our Resident Evil's identity, the fixed camera angles, blah, blah, blah. But it blew me away. Resident Evil 4 blew me away when it came out and I got my hands on it. So just keep that in mind in the future. If they remake any games, try to go into it with an open mind, and you may be surprised because if it is true that if you go into it with your nostalgia goggles, it's gonna suck. Like it's not gonna live up to the expectations of the old game. So that's just my opinion. Go into it with an open mind and just see what they do. If it sucks, it sucks. I'm sorry. Benjamin Camden said, "I hate people. Yeah, some people suck. I share that sentiment." Mustafa Mandarin. Um, it's a great new Resident Evil game, and one of the best ones at that. That's all there is. That's all there is to it. You shouldn't listen to these people because they literally go over things with a fine comb, looking for things to criticize. That is true. I agree with that. I Some people just kind of go through things and just they find things that irk them or that they don't like, and then they try to make a big stink out of it. So that is true. Some people really do go out of their way to try to find something that they don't like about a game or a movie or something, and because they don't like it, they try to, I guess they try to ruin it for everybody. Chuck Wade. It's worth full price. It'll take 8 to 10 hours to beat if you take your time and not speedrun. True. That is the thing. I think a game like RE2 is meant to be enjoyed. The remake, you take your time, you walk around, you pace yourself, you enjoy the environment, you enjoy the atmosphere. Chuck Wade, you are right, my friend. There's people out there who just try to beat the game as quickly as they can instead of taking their time and really enjoying the game, the experience, and the world in the game. Chrissy Denapol Pimont. Chrissy, I'm so sorry, girl. The game is phenomenal and worth every cent. Excuse me. The game is phenomenal and worth every cent. Trust me, you'll love it. And I can't wait to pick it up. If somebody wants to donate to help make that happen so I can make a video about it, definitely Patreon, PayPal. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I do want to pick it up. I just, like I said, I have a family and it's kind of hard. When the game is $60, it's kind of hard. Kyle Chetty. And those guys are 100% correct. A and B don't correspond, and it has very poor enemy variety, and the game is even shorter than RE7. The game ain't even scary at all, just intense, and first, but thereafter gets boring quick. I tried, dragged the game as much as possible. I still managed to beat it in 7 hours, which is pathetic. I was very disappointed. The original may be short as well, but it has more content than this game. Don't get misled by people in this group. They either suffering from nostalgia or still hyped up, which makes them oblivious to all the fuck ups with the game. The game is visually stunning, but lacked every other way. But it lacked in every other way. Sorry, don't mean to put you off, but these are all facts. And this is his opinion. This is his opinion, and we have to respect it. If that's how he feels, that's how he feels. But in the sub comments, Jamie Flynn responded to him, "You can't voice an opinion and call it fact. Don't be stupid." And he's correct. I mean, just because you have an opinion on something, that doesn't make it a fact. Um, and they just kind of went back and forth, and I'm going to get into that right now. This game is the game being short an opinion. Is campaign A and B not corresponding in opinion? The game having poor enemy variety in opinion? The original having more content than the main game? Then the remake is an opinion. If you ain't sure about what you're saying, I suggest you keep your dumb comments to yourself. Oh, it's getting spicy. Those are facts, disappointing facts. The only opinion I made was by saying the game ain't scary. Others may find it terrifying, but I sadly don't. And to an extent, he is right. You know, to some people, 7 hours is short. In my opinion, I say that's pretty decent. But, once again, Kyle has a point. Enrique Jr. Sembrano, you could always sell your game back to GameStop if you don't like it. Stop crying. Oh, it's getting spicy. Enrique, I'm talking about facts that you don't like ain't crying. Unfortunately, nothing special for the concept of being changed. You nothing special for the concept to be changed. Don't tell me what to do with my stuff. I'll decide. Although it's disappointing, still have to keep it to complete the collection. I don't blame you for the way you think, cause you also hypnotized. Ooh, I think I should jump in here and referee. My goodness. Actually, this is Jamie replying to Kyle. Jamie, actually, most of those things are your opinion. You see it that way, you know how massively popular this game as and how much people love it. Therefore, it's all a matter of opinion. Don't be arrogant by saying your opinion is fact. Kyle replied, "So are you saying I'm wrong, Jamie?" And Jamie replied, "Absolutely not. You are failing to see the point here. I completely understand why you would say those things, but you need to understand that not everyone agrees with you and thinks that about the game. This is called an opinion, and everyone is entitled to one. True. I just I was just calling you out on the fact that you said everything you said was facts, and that's not the case." Man, I don't even know which way to swing on this one. I don't want to let Kyle down, but at the same time, I feel that both Kyle and Jamie, they have good points. They have really good points, and I don't know. I'm going to stay neutral on this. Kyle finally replied, What annoys me is that people in this group have the right to pick on either RE titles but lack the evidence to provide it's shitty. But if somebody states something about their favorite title, it becomes an issue. People here are just biased AF. And that he actually made a really good point. Sometimes we are biased in our opinion, and sometimes we do love something so much to the point to where we're not open to somebody else's opinion. We may love RE2 Remake to the point to where the people who have an issue with it, we won't hear them out. And I think we should, in my opinion, I think we should all talk about it. Like, if there's people out there who don't like this game for whatever reason, we should hear them out. I heard people out when I did my Silent Hill Homecoming video. Definitely check it out. But Jamie has a point. Sometimes we do love something to the point to where we can't see its flaws, especially in the gaming community, especially with us hardcore RE Silent Hill fans. But I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. James Lane says, "See, I got a YouTube channel myself. I do gaming on, but I've been a Resident Evil fan since I was a kid. I know everything about them, know the plot story, I know what happens, everything, and know where the stories take place." Cool. James, I'm sorry, James. Did I say Jamie? I mean James. James Lane, if you want to drop a link to your YouTube channel, do it so in the comments. I would love to see some of your handiwork, my friend. Tristan Stark. The game is amazing. Took me about 10 hours for Leon's story and 5 for Claire's. Okay, well, there you go. Trevor Hathcock. Always makes me laugh when I see people claim opinion to be fact. And like I said, sometimes it is true. We may feel so strongly about a game or something that we feel that our opinion is fact. And he's right. Sometimes we just can't see our opinion for what it is, an opinion. So I agree with you, Trevor. Enrique Jr. Sembrano. This guy is a clown. Opinion, my friend. That's all I'm gonna say. Katie Lamb. Play the demo and make up your own mind. And you know what? She's right. I remember I bought the Resident Evil on the original PlayStation on the PSX, and it came with the RE2 demo. What happened to demos? You got a small taste of the game, and you could make up your mind whether you wanted to play it or not. And there was always that disclaimer in the game. Games are subject to change or something like that, or stuff like that. I think more companies should release demos. Demos to where we get a taste of the game, but not to the point to where we just keep replaying the demo. Just enough to give us a taste of the game. Go back to discs. And if you like it, you can download it. Give out demos at GameStop or something, or sign up for like a list for like Konami, or well, not Konami because they suck. Konami just kind of went downhill. Like Capcom, major publishers could have a RSVP list. You sign up and you get a small taste of the game. You can get a demo disc in the mail like Netflix or like used to do. They used to send out DVDs. But you could get a small taste of the game, and if you like it, either go to the store, pick up a physical copy, or download it. But you get basically a taste of the game. It doesn't have to be a big taste. It doesn't have to be a huge, like I said, to where you keep replaying the demo, but just, a taste like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to invest money. I'm going to help out this company. I'm going to support them by buying the full game. Alrighty. So, John Jumpy Coates. This person said, For me, it was a much needed step for Capcom to keep me interested. Yes, I know they don't make it for me personally. After the disappointment of 4, 5, and 6, I found that 7, although not quite having the Resident Evil feel, was a move back in the right direction. I don't like 4 and found 5 and 6 okay games in their own rights, but for me personally, they're not in the spirit of Res Evil, although I will give them credit for keeping the RE franchise running. Okay, I'm going to speak on this. I loved 4, but to me 5 and 6 were kind of over the top. A lot of action, it to me those games personally felt like they're not survival horror, they're just more action based now. That's, like I said, that's my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with it. I'm not asking you to, but I just felt like those games, they swung over more in the spectrum of action. Chris punching a boulder, Leon scenario, explosions everywhere. I mean, geez, what the heck? So I agree with that. I definitely agree that they slapped the Resident Evil. They could have been spin-offs. Resident Evil 4, definitely. The story fit more in the Resident Evil universe, but 5 and 6 definitely went over into the spectrum of action to where they could have been their own, side stories like Umbrella Corps, you know, or the Operation Raccoon City. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Umbrella Corps, but Operation Raccoon City. So he's right on that aspect. I liked four. I really liked four. Like I say, I loved it. I liked it. So he definitely has a point. The rest of his comment reads, RE2 remake for me was brought back. RE2 remake for me has brought back the old feel of the original games, with smoothness and controls I have enjoyed. It's been a couple of years or so since a game has kept me this interested. Forget your nostalgia. I'm really enjoying it. And you know what? Good for him. Definitely. That's what the Resident Evil franchise should be, survival horror. You don't have to go too much into the action spectrum of games. You could just, survival horror. One dude, handful of weapons, survive. And 5 and 6 just kind of fell short on that aspect. 7, I think, was more of a I honestly feel that 7 was more of a proving ground. Like, this is what we're going to do. Let's see how people react and go from there. And I'm definitely glad that 5 and 6 happened, because I feel like that's where they learned that we can't go too much into the action spectrum or we're going to lose people. 7 was a step. He is right. 7 was a step in the right direction, because now we're brought back to what we loved about Resident Evil, which was the horror and the survival aspect. You replay the game, you do your game plus or whatever, you replay the game, but you keep your weapons. So, of course, the first playthrough is always gonna be like I would say the proving ground. Like, the first playthrough is gonna be the true test. You can replay the game with all your weapons, and of course the game's gonna be a whole lot easier. But that's just, it is what it is. Mike Martinez. I have been a fan of RE games since Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut. I have not played all the spin-offs or Code Veronica, but in my opinion, the game is great. I got it as a gift, but I still would have bought it at full retail price. There is something nostalgic at work here, but that's not a bad thing. It's not. It's really not. It lets you appreciate where the game came from. I agree. I do agree that the A and B scenario should have been much more different. Completely different games would have been neat. Enemy variety could have been improved, but I am thinking this was done because some of these enemies are kind of outdated, like the moth and crows graphically. It's gorgeous. I agree that the majority of the people who think the game is great. I agree with the majority of the people who think the game is great. I can't see anyone being so upset at how it turned out. We will probably see paid DLC later, but honestly, the games nowadays don't offer paid DLC. Question. It's just one of those things we'll never get away from. It's true. It is true. No microtransactions, and that's something else that I'm going to touch on in a later video. Give me 1 second. He also went on to add a little bit. You have a great name. Well, thank you. Oh, Mike Martinez replied to Mike Martinez. You have a great name, Mike Martinez. Thank you. So those have been people's opinions. Definitely tell me what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Disagree? What do you think? I haven't played it. I can't wait to play it. I'm hoping to get my hands on it soon so I can do a video on it. And I do agree with a lot of people who commented. And I just can't wait to play it. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe. Tell me what you want me to talk about in later videos. You guys have a great day.